Steve Cassidy here. I want to talk today very briefly about the Bottle SQLIte plugin, which is something that we are going to use for the second assignment, and it's just a way to make working with databases, in particular SQLIte, easier in a Bottle web application. So this is the Bottle SQLIte plugin, but let me talk through the motivation for it first. So if you look through the notes on using SQLIte in web applications, it goes through building a little database helper class, which just helps us create a database connection and consistently name it. And then really sort of shows the way to interact with the database. So first we create a database connection, and then we can get a cursor, and then we can execute a query. And so when we're building our web application, we've been through this a few times, we write a database access routines, such as creating tables, storing likes, and each of these takes as a parameter the database connection that we use to actually talk to the database. And we make a cursor, and then we execute a command, and we commit if we need to. And similarly here, we take a database connection as a parameter and do some work. When it comes to writing the application itself, the routes, the handlers for routes in the Bottle application, we need a database connection in order to do the work here. So we need to say get likes. And so in order to get a database connection, we create one here like this. And so that's the way that the notes talk about handling database connections. This is fine and it works okay, but it turns out there's a slightly neater way using this Bottle plugin for SQLIte. So the Bottle SQLIte plugin is an official plugin for SQLIte. And what it does basically, and I'll show you in a bit of code here, first of all we import the SQLIte plugin, and then we install the plugin. So those two lines of code, we say SQLIte plugin, and then we say here, this is the database file. And so this is effectively making the database connection, and it's going to connect to this database file name here. So I've gotten that from my database module in this case. So we're basically installing it as part of the application. So it becomes part of the Bottle application. So then what's going to happen is that it will take over, and it will sort of do a bit of essentially magic for us. It's going to automatically look for any handler that has an argument called DB and just arrange for that to be a database connection. So basically what it means is if you need to have a database connection in your root handler, you just put a DB argument there in as the first thing in your parameter list, and that will become the database connection. The plugin will ensure that that database is connected to there. And so we can then just use get likes there, and similarly in the post handler here, I just have a DB argument, and then I can use it there. So really it's just a way of, it's just a slightly different way to the one in the notes of making sure that I have a database connection. And it actually turns out to be better, because what I'm doing here is I'm connecting to the database each time I want to use it. So I'm sort of opening a new connection, then doing a query, and then throwing it away again. Whereas in the plugins case, I have one connection that's open for the whole life of the application, and it's managed by the application itself. So that's the SQLIte plugin. You'll need to install that in addition to Bottle. So have a look at that.